Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech, where we have an awful lot of interesting opportunities sitting here on the table in front of us. So I looked through these jobs, and they're mostly kind of inconvenient for us as far as rep goes. Working for the Capellans against the Taurians isn't great because we actually probably want to end up driving our Capellan rep down to 0. But I think we're in a place in the campaign right now where we can't afford to not just make as much money in salvage as possible at all times. So we'll fix our reps later if they get too screwed up. For right now, I think we should just take all these jobs, do as much damage as possible, make some money, and hopefully walk out here with something interesting. Speaking of walking out of here with something interesting, this Clash of Titans job, we've got an interesting opportunity for you, Commander. We've recently detected a major engine signature on the planet, probably an Assault-class mech. That's the big ones. We can't have an Assault-class Taurian mech that big wandering around loose, so we'd like you to handle it. The interesting part is that we've also detected another Assault power-up, and it's a different mech entirely, and it's closing with the target. It's possible you could just swoop in and pick up the pieces. We're prepared to offer generous salvage terms. I think this is possibly going to be really difficult. It does say it's 1.5 skulls, and I think 1.5 skulls is about the sweet spot for our current mech loadout. But I'm wondering if there's any chance at all that we're going to be able to keep these things intact while we destroy them. Our pilots don't have the aiming skill necessary. Ooh, speaking of pilots, maybe we should have a quick look at our mech warriors. We don't have the aiming skill necessary to intentionally bring down the head of a mech or anything, so I'm not thinking that there's much chance that we'll be able to snipe these things while leaving them largely intact. We could probably afford to just grab a little bit of gunnery on everybody who has enough skill for it, because boy oh boy do I love aiming.
Mech warrior training complete.
What can I do for you?
What was I was building him toward? Yeah, let's just grab gunnery, 2.5% aim on everybody seems like a good thing to do before going into battle with potentially Assault-class mechs. But we may have to kill them just by hitting whatever part of them is available, which means we might end up reducing them each down to a single point of salvage. So I'm not sure exactly how much salvage we want to take here, because there's also a lot of money on the table, and we could really use some money. 313 for 532,000 C-bills is maybe the balance we want to strike. This is if we manage to take down one of them in a way that preserves a little bit more of its chassis, we can try to have a significant portion of an assault mech built, but otherwise we could just take one piece of each and then one weapon that they drop. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of gear available here because assault mechs are usually absolutely packed with weaponry. I think this is how we'll run it. So we're going to bring the best squad we have. Definitely want to bring in the assassin. Ooh, actually, maybe I don't want to bring the assassin. It is really lightly armored. It's a light hunter-killer. It's not really well suited to the thing we're doing here. Let's bring the Jenner and the Firestarter. As much as I appreciate the AC-10 and the amount of damage that it can put out, I'm a little worried that the lack of maneuverability on the urban mech might get it just pinned and destroyed. And then let's go ahead and jam some more people in here. So I'm going to put the high gunnery pilot in a Centurion. Steamfitter has been demoted to Jenner duty. And you and the Firestarter. Do we want to have the other Bulwark guy in the Centurion, actually? As much as I appreciate the extra aim, we probably do. We want these two mechs to tank. I don't think having the extra gunnery in the Firestarter makes sense, but the Jenner can make use of it. The Jenner has a lot of damage output. Alright, let's try it like that. So you can see here an indication of what the game estimates the difficulty that our lance could handle is. We're at 1.5 symbols. So in theory, the game developers think they developed this mission to be difficult enough for us to handle. Difficult but challenging. Doable, but challenging, rather. We'll see. Assault mechs are very dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. It would be pretty cool to start salvaging them, though, because it's going to take us a long time to build one of our own. We're going to have to go through an awful lot of missions. Taking down assault mechs isn't going to be easy, Commander, but if we can play them off against each other, we might make out quite well on this one. I'm real nervous that we're going to lose pilots and potentially mechs here, but we definitely, if we're going to do this kind of mission, we definitely want to go at this right now with everybody healthy, all of our mechs in perfect condition. This is an A-team kind of job. Facing matters. A mech's rear armor is thinner. Probably a thing that's actually going to come up here. We're going to use our little mechs to just, like, run behind them. Alright, it looks pretty hot out here. Enemy unit should be in this area. Remember, this is a big mech we're tangling with. We probably...
So serene.
Okay, that was weird. We probably want to take it pretty easy on the approach here. I'm just thinking that I don't want to aggro this thing. I want to let the two assault mechs get near each other and start fighting, and then we'll...
Don't need to tell me twice.
Then we'll intercede. We can move up to cover, at least. Get in the trees.
Confirmed.
I'm hoping that we'll see them engage each other right away. Well, nothing major has happened. It's also possible... we don't have any idea what the mission design is, right? It's also possible that this is designed in such a way that nothing happens until we get close enough to see stuff happening. And maybe where this is headed.
We got bad guys.
Okay, well we have the pair of readings. Guess we can start in that direction now. Now that we know that both of the mechs are already over there. I want to move forward, but I don't want to move forward so far that that I am visible to them. That would be very dangerous. The dropship coming in fast and low, Commander. I'm seeing local government markings. The other assault mech joining the party, I'm guessing. It's about to get hot down there. Okay, so that's not the two assault mechs. That's one of whatever those is pretty light. Okay, we have to be smart about this. If this thing has vision of me during the one initiative phase, it's potentially the case that we're going to get bombarded by some very serious weaponry. So I want to be really cautious about how I move forward. I would love it if we were just not at all fireable here. I also don't want to put myself too close to the other mech. I want to make sure that these guys have the ability to get involved with each other. I'm going to back up to the mineral field. It's not exactly cover, but it's something. Yeah, you just brace in that mineral field.
Waiting on you, Commander.
You also get in the mineral field and just brace, and we'll figure out what to do with you guys next turn. And these two are far enough back. I'm going to reserve down to one. We're going to let this thing move a little bit and see what happens. He is coming toward us. I might want to have these two Centurions fall back into this forest. It's possible that I'm being overcautious here, but, like, assault mechs are not a joke. Set you in very similarly. Fortunately, we're pretty tough in the forest. Cat's paws on the field, Commander. Let's let them take the brunt of the fire, and we should be able to clean up whoever's left alive. Yeah, let's hope so. I think that might have been an Atlas. I only saw it for a moment. Oh, God. Okay, they've also got something moving faster than I would like. Well, it only has 1 point of evasion.
Good to go.
We have to burn this thing down, and we have to do it pretty quickly. But there's very few... So if I approach from this side, push up into the forest, we're putting ourselves directly between the two enemy forces. But if I push this way to take cover over here, then I'm just visible to the assault. So I think what we're going to do is actually run. Again, potentially overcautious, but I do not want to get in between the two fighting assaults. That seems like a really good way to die.
How might I help?
Yeah, face this way. Trying to keep the back of my mech out of everybody's line of fire.
on you, Commander.
How far do I want to back these guys up? Because they're a lot slower. Like, I don't feel bad at all pulling a Jenner and a Firestarter to just about anywhere, because I know they'll be able to make it back into the fight. With the Centurions, especially Centurions that don't have jump jets, we have to be a little bit more cautious. Yeah, I guess let's just fall back. We really want to present ourselves as not available. When the AI is going, who do I want to shoot at? I don't even want us to really be in that conversation. Okay, it's sort of heading toward us and sort of heading toward the landing pad. Kind of splitting the difference. I'm gonna reserve down.
Holding action, Commander.
Hopefully they'll go at each other a little bit more than at me. Ow. Okay, he is definitely interested in the other force. So that arm that got hit. Yes, this is the mech where we... Oh no, this is not the mech where we emptied out the left side. Okay. This guy does not have cover. We definitely just need to roast him, right?
What can I do for you?
So... pretty bad weapon ranges there. That's a little bit too far out. We're going to just turn in place. We have a pretty good shot. The assault mech is down here. It might not have jump jets. Jump jets are a little bit less common on assault mechs because they're very heavy. So this will give me cover and 1 evasion pip. And I think this move is safe to make.
Coordinates received.
Let's try to blow this guy up. Let's put some damage on him. Okay, missing with most of the weaponry. To be expected, but still a shame. Still, I am sad. Now he doesn't have evasion anymore, though, and we can try to get him with the UAC. 70% hit chance. I have hope. Also, holy crap, this weapon loadout is very hot. This might be worth using a precision strike on. We really would love to get this done. I want this spotter dead. Okay, well, we did some damage at least.
Critical damage detected.
Unfortunately, I did not knock off the arm that the AC-10 is on.
On my way.
Yeah, let's just go for this. Clustering is a little bit dangerous because we're making it so that if something shoots at us, shoots at one of my mechs and misses, it's still likely to hit one of the others.
Firing everything I've got.
It's kind of a new concern for me. Okay. Alright, they've lost their spotter.
Dang, you're dead.
The fact that they were employing spotters suggests to me that whatever that assault mech is, it might be long range, but also I don't know exactly how the missions were designed. It's possible that they were not thinking of it in that way. Alright, let's see what they do. Okay, that thing is absolutely coming around on us. It's an awesome 8Q with 3 PPCs.
I'm not gonna have a mech left if I keep taking hits like that.
You are actually 100% correct. Okay, so all of the heavy enemies are converging directly on me. We need to disengage even harder. Get your Firestarter the hell out of there. Still looks like that small mech is maybe headed toward the enemy assault.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Okay, a jump gets us behind this rock, which is maybe helpful. Honestly, we could just sprint and end up further away. Yeah, let's do that.
Affirmative.
I'm going to try to sprint out with these ones as well. We can't make quite the same distance. But I just really, really, really want to get out of the way here. Also, good to let that mech cool down a little bit. We built a little bit of a heat monster. Do I want to run down the hill? No, I think I want to stay up here. What I'd really like to do is get into this forest over here. This forest will provide us some good cover that's also far away from the convergence path. My guess is that the assaults are going to chase my mechs rather than going at each other. But we can make that okay if we just fall back far enough that they collide with each other while chasing me.
Reporting.
Where's the little one? I'm gonna reserve down. Let's see what the little one does here. Okay, he's still moving in a way, yeah, that suggests that he's trying to get vision of the awesome. Which I'm hoping means that now his mech will turn that way and start, you know, firing LRMs or something. I don't think I want to pass down to the assaults. I think I want to... Oh, wait, is there... Okay, no, there's not a hard mission barrier. I was just a little confused as to why we couldn't move over here, but... Let's face the enemies. Face our potential enemies.
Full throttle.
Waiting for orders.
And honestly, the smalls maybe should just get all the way down over here, because they can jump back up very easily, but I want to be like out of line of sight.
Got it.
We'll give everybody an opportunity to cool down, because yeah, you can see the Jenner, like it's taking more than a turn to drop the heat of firing all the weapons a single time on that Jenner. Honestly, you're probably fine where you are. He's going to walk around over to here. Oh, actually, him getting up on that plateau is probably pretty good for us, because that means this mech probably still has vision of him. Yep, which has that guy headed in that direction. But he can see us first. Alright, let's evaluate the situation here a little bit.
That was bad.
That was bad. That's a Banshee. 2 PPCs, 2 medium lasers. Okay, so as far as assault mechs go, these are some of the worst ones, but even so, man.
Reporting.
Assault mechs, they're not a joke.
Affirmative.
Okay, the small mech is still going after the awesome. Nope, never mind. It turned.
Damage minimal.
This is looking not great for me. So that's an urban mech that has a PPC on it. Alright. So we have 6 PPCs aimed at us, apparently completely ignoring each other. Which is bad.
Awaiting orders.
Not a lot I can do about this, or say about it, other than that. It's real bad what's happening here. We can't realistically get to any kind of actual, like, line of sight breaking cover. Silly me, I thought that the enemy mechs might behave as described in the mission briefing. Alright, we're gonna move as much as we can while staying in the forest to maintain cover, because with Bulwark, it's pretty valuable. But I think we're just gonna have to start fighting. Unfortunately, these things have, like, huge amounts of structure and armor. Double unfortunately, what they do not have is any parts that I want at all. Like a bunch of PPCs. PPCs are just... they're just bad weapons, basically. Where are we at right now? We're at 70 resolve. I probably don't want to spend, then. We could just go for this. I mean, straight up fighting the assault mech feels like it's a real bad move, but we actually can't do anything else. We can't get away from it.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Alright, that's as softened up as he's getting. It's time to put in the UAC-5. This has a small chance of doing some real good work. So let's see, the head of this mech has 49 HP. It's not impossible that we could just get some lucky shots to the head and take it clean off. Frankly, a breakthrough anywhere is good, because we need to remove some of the weapon systems. Let's see, he's got a medium laser and a PPC here with nothing on that right arm. Okay, yeah, so we need to be busting up torso sections. I think we're gonna have to get these two up here on the hill with us. It's too dangerous to leave them down below. Also, there absolutely is an invisible wall here somewhere. We're up against the edge of the mission area, because like when I have jump selected, I can't jump to here, which is where I'd obviously like to go.
Yes, Commander.
It might even be right to reserve down here, wait for the assaults to go, and then bring our lights up onto the hill, just so they don't get shot at.
Holding for tactical advantage.
This turn,
Holding
anyway.
for the right opportunity.
Alright, the awesome is up. Okay, and it is going to try to cash in on the damage we've done. And then hopefully the Banshee will recognize the awesome as a serious threat and will go after it. Nope, it wants us. At this point, he is thirsty for vengeance.
Dang it, that hurt.
Ooh. Mech took a headshot. I think it was a medium laser? Yeah, so we could survive another one, but any damage to the head damages the pilot, so Trampoline's going to be in medbay for a little while. Well, this is why you have 5 pilots, right?
Reporting.
So here's my biggest concern. I'm real worried that we're going to have our smaller mechs run up, and they're going to immediately be targeted by everything because they're more vulnerable. So by having them move at the end of the turn here, as far as they can, we can effectively move twice, right? Because we're going to do this right now, and then we're going to move them again at the beginning of the next turn. And I'm just going to try to get them around here so that so that this provides a line of sight break from the awesome, and we're just going to have to kill the Banshee. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I don't have a lot of other moves here. Okay, we've actually almost broken the side of it off. It is unfortunately very effectively using cover to protect itself from the enemy awesome. Right now we have 70 resolve. Right after we do this, we're going to gain 15, so I think we can afford to go for a precision strike here. I really just need to channel as much damage as possible into this right torso section.
Commencing alpha strike.
There we go. My big concern there was if we didn't destroy the torso section pretty early in that attack, a lot of our damage would get loaded into the arm, and then the arm just falls off when the torso section gets hit again anyway. So it would have effectively just been wasted. That was really good that the first laser killed the torso. Alright, you two have to get the hell out of here. I mean, it's totally acceptable to just get close up on this guy. In fact, it might even be preferable to do something like this. We could get behind it, and then we're shooting into the back arc with all of the heat. What's his heat look like? Oh, actually, he's very, very warm. Yeah, alright. I like this. Crazy jump in with the flamethrowers.
Confirmed.
That much time with the jets turned on in this heat is going to have some serious effects on us, but I think it's probably the right move.
Confirmed.
So with this amount of heat, we might even... Yeah, we might even be able to shut him down. Okay, that's going to buy us a lot of time. That urban mech has to go, but I don't think it can be a priority. At the moment, I think we got to get everybody to safety. In fact, I think the Jenner just has to sprint this turn. It's unsafe for the Jenner to do anything other than run at maximum speed to cover. Because if I do a normal move, yeah, I end up in straight vision of the awesome. And a jump doesn't get me far enough to prevent me from being seen after it moves.
Pedal to the metal.
So we'll just sprint you over here, let you burn off a little bit of heat.
Commander?
And then, unfortunately, this means that after we take this thing down, we're going to have to deal with the awesome by ourselves. We cannot leverage these enemies against each other very effectively at all. I kind of want to just not even move. The thing is, it's going to be so hard to get the Centurions to a position where they're, It's going to be so hard to get the Centurions to a position where they have any cover at all from the awesome. Like maybe just staying in the trees is a good idea. Getting the high ground obviously also has value. Let's see, this guy's not going to do any more damage to us this turn, but that probably doesn't mean that we can rest. You know what we could try? With his right torso down and his right leg so busted up, we could go for this leg and try to knock him over. And then a mech that is laying down on the ground, everybody gets free aimed shots on. So is there any way for me to get to a position? No, even the furthest I can run does not give me fire from that quadrant. Maybe the move here is, okay, I can get a single point of evasion while staying in the trees. I think we do that, because we're going to need the evasion. I probably should have turned the mech a little bit so that the left arm was facing the enemies, because I really don't want to lose this UAC. And then we just go for an aimed shot to the leg. I'm going to overheat if I fire everything. You turn off the large laser and stay under. Could I keep the large laser on and turn off, like... Yeah. The large laser hits for enough damage to destroy the leg. So I really want all of our weapons that do 40 or more to fire here. Okay. So with his leg gone, he's going to fall over. And when your mech falls over, the pilot takes damage. So now that pilot has taken damage twice. Once from the destruction of that torso piece, and once from the fall.
Good to go.
We could maybe... Okay, you can almost make it to cover. You can make it to here. This might be a position... Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit and get a read here. It's this position. No, the awesome will be able to see him if I go for that. I'm just thinking here, we might be able to finish off... If we can do one more damage to the pilot before we destroy the center torso on this thing, there'll be 2 pieces of salvage left over. We could just go for the head. That's pretty unlikely. The way we would damage the pilot, again, would be to either destroy the left torso or to let the thing get back up and then take the leg out. Oh, actually, you know what? I think the destruction of the leg... if a mech has no legs, it can't stand up, obviously. So maybe the destruction of the leg is what we go for. Because it's not going to be able to move at all this turn. All it's going to do this turn is vent heat, so we'll have another turn to shoot at it. Yeah, alright, let's move in this forest as much as we can. Yeah, generate some evasion. Although maybe don't stand them so close together. I guess if I want a point of evasion, this is all I can do.
Right, Commander.
Just want to make sure that we're getting whatever defensive ability we can get here. And the leg's pretty damaged already. Let's just see if we can take it off.
Firing everything I've got.
I definitely hit it.
Critical hit, Commander.
He's also pretty close to losing his center torso. So if the center torso is destroyed, there will be 1 piece of his mech available for salvage. If we do this with the legs... Oh, the damn awesome came over and ruined it. Well, that's a shame. I was really looking forward to getting a second piece of salvage on that. Okay, how's this thing running? Also very close to the heat threshold. I think we need to start some fires. So I can shut him off for a turn. The mech's right arm is busted. So what we really want to do is we want to jump in like this and land this way, so that if the Irby shoots him, he probably doesn't lose the arm. And yeah, we're just going to overheat this one as well.
Going skyward.
Turn off I'm not quite overheating, but frankly, the point of this isn't even the heat, or isn't even the damage. We're just trying to overheat him. So maybe I turn off the lasers for this shot, preserve some heat so that I can fire everything next round when he's down and I have the free aim.
Firing.
Alright, we got there. Also, I managed to hit the head with one of those shots. Listen, the Awesome 8Q is the worst assault mech. I don't think it's even close. Like, it's the worst assault mech by a huge margin. That said, it's still an assault mech, and if we manage to cook the pilot alive in there or something, which is a really gross image, I would absolutely take as many pieces of salvage from it as I could get. Do we want to just run up? This thing is standing in the mineral field, right? Yeah. I'm wondering if we just run up and kick him. Jenners don't kick very hard, but we might not actually have a very good shot on him. Let's see. I don't want to be shooting into his side arc here. I guess we could just run up and point blank him. Yeah, that's not horrible aim. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. We're going to run right up on him, and we're going to give him a precision strike to lower his initiative to 3, so that he doesn't go before my small mechs next turn. And we don't need to get fancy on this. I think we can just try to core him. Yeah, he has 50 armor and 55 armor and 50 structure. Let's just go straight to the middle and try to put him away. Okay, did not really get a ton accomplished there. Alright, so you two need to put that urban mech down. Oof. Shot odds are poor.
Waiting for orders.
Stupid mineral field. Is that just because of the mineral field, or am I at... Oh, well, the AC-10 autocannons get that refire modifier from recoil. Yeah, and we're both going to overheat if we do anything at all. The guy's actually super hard to shoot. Maybe we just focus on the Awesome. Now, the Awesome has cover, which sucks. And it has bulwark. Wait, how are we going to do this? What on it is damaged? So the center, and I mean the left side, of course, because that's where we put the fire starter. I don't think we can realistically get a shot off on his left side. We could try to run. We could try to run for the mineral field. He won't be able to do anything this turn. We won't make it next turn, and then we'll just be out in the open. Yeah, I think I just gotta shoot what I can shoot safely. Like, we gotta turn off a medium laser here. Oh, we get a free called shot for him being shut down. I didn't realize that. I don't see mechs shut down from heat all that often. So we can just go for the center. I would like to take home more pieces of this if I could. Let's go for his left torso.
Tell me what to shoot.
We can soften him up if we break the left torso up. In particular, there's only one PPC in there, but in particular I'm thinking the left torso is the location of many of his heat sinks. So we can make his mech a little bit less heat efficient. That would probably be a big deal. What can I actually afford to fire? I have to turn off the LR, or the lasers. They run too hot. I think I'm just gonna fire the UAC this turn. We need a little bit of cooldown.
Engaging target.
Well, I managed to hit him in the leg once.
Power up detected.
Okay, so he heats back up.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Then we need to make something happen here. But I'll overheat. He does only have 34 structure left in that torso section. It might be the case that the smart move here is to go for a melee. Maybe we get lucky and we hit that torso section. I'm standing in the mineral field. I'm just thinking, I can't fire my weapons, realistically. He's actually pretty hot, too. He can't really fire all his stuff. I'm just gonna throw a punch here.
Good.
Okay, hit the arm.
Reporting.
That's almost good. I think what we want from you... Is there a place where I can stand up here? Let's see, I could get down here. Okay, I could get down here, hit his back arc from here, and still be in support range. We could even maybe move a little bit further back, but I can't get a second evasion pip, so there's no point. I think the best chance for the Firestarter to survive is to get in a position where the Awesome can't look at it without exposing its back to everybody else, and then just keep shooting flamethrowers into its back armor over and over again until the battle ends. And within the back armor, I'll go ahead and go for this. It's worth noting that the cover damage reduction does not affect hits in the rear, so this actually could do a meaningful amount of damage.
Target acquired and locked in.
Okay, we only hit with 3 of the flamethrowers there. I think I said in an earlier episode that flamethrowers always hit, which is obviously not the case. They have a hit percentage. That is the wrong arm. That's the wrong side to be taking damage. I cannot with that. That cannot be the case. All right, you got to get me some distance and safety here. And then we could shoot at this thing, but we're not going to hit it. Let's just keep this up.
Right, Commander.
I mean, we're doing some damage. Hopefully y'all could see what I was worried about. Like, it's really non-trivial to kill an assault mech. So let's make sure we're turned here so that we are pushing the left side toward the enemies. Gotta keep my right guarded a little bit here. And I think we just go for this again. If I go in for the large laser, we're not going to overheat. And the large laser does do just enough damage to take the arm off, but taking the arm off doesn't actually help us. I think maybe I let my heat fall again. No, we should keep throwing damage at it. Alright, well we did a lot of damage to the armor on both of the side torso areas. It's running out of its cover, which is good for me. And the mineral field is doing very valuable work. Okay, he has counterpunched. He understands the wisdom of my move there.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, this Firestarter is doing some extraordinary work. I think we just do the same thing. Just move up, stay in cover. Because, life is dangerous. This is... life is dangerous in general. This is particularly dangerous. A mech this size chasing an Awesome around and just hurling flames at it. It's a real risky endeavor. Okay, we shut him down again.
Taking a critical hit. My flamer is empty.
Oh man. Okay, we did some good work there. So it lost it lost one of the PPCs entirely. Another one was damaged, so it's at reduced accuracy. Both of those torso sections are looking pretty weak, and it already took a point of damage from a lucky headshot with the machine gun earlier. So if we destroy both the torso parts, we'll be able to take home 2 pieces of the Awesome, which I would be pretty happy to have happen. Kind of makes me want to just ignore the urban mech and run around back here. I think this is what I'm going to do. Can I make it into cover? I would love to do this, but from cover. It looks like all of the positions where I have cover don't actually shoot into the back arc. But I can get 3 points of evasion. This leaves the left side of the mech facing the urban mech, which is where the weak leg is. But we have to try, right? Okay, so the PPC on this side is the dead one, so we should shoot for here. We destroyed one of his heat sinks. We didn't quite actually get through the structure, though. 22 and 4. Oh, man, he's really close. Okay, so these two mechs probably don't need to work on the awesome at all anymore. I think these guys are going to finish the awesome off on their next turn. So we have to come up with a way of working that urban mech out, but I think actually what we might want to do right now is just have a turn where we don't fire the guns on the big mechs. So I think we need that really badly. We need a brace and chill turn. The urban mech's probably not going to shoot at us. I don't need to stress too much about it. Let's just move to where I have an open angle. And you also desperately need to drop heat. And with you, it is your left arm that is damaged, so with you we'll have our right side open here.
Battle mech power-up detected.
Okay, so he's turned back on. And interesting, the urban mech's running out of cover for another melee attack. Which missed? He still gets to shoot his support laser, though. Okay, that was not too bad. Actually, this has gone really well, considering... The shooty part of this has gone really well, considering how poorly the strategic part at the beginning went. And now that this thing's in the open, I think it made a really bad move here. I think it screwed up real bad. So I will overheat if I fire everything. I think what we want to do... I have 55 resolve, so I don't have enough resolve to do an aimed shot with both of the small mechs. Let me start with him. No, let me start with the other mech, please.
Awaiting orders.
So he just has the lasers and the machine guns. There are pretty good odds that he's going to break some of this apart. I'm just gonna fire.
Locking on target.
All right, left torso down. Too much of the damage went to the center, unfortunately. Center has 59 health remaining, and this has 22. So a hit from any medium laser will finish it. I think this is what we have to do, and then we just have to turn stuff off. Yeah, okay. It's possible that we're still going to just kill his center torso here, but if either of the medium lasers or 3 of the 4 SRMs hit the right torso, then we have this thing down, providing multiple pieces of salvage.
Critical hit, Commander.
Managed to split the damage in a way that's, like, very unfortunate. Like, incredibly bad. That really could not have gone worse. Yeah, that's so very, very bad for us. So here's the thing. Shooting at the awesome from the front is going to be a little bit less effective than I would like. And I was not planning to do it. But now I'm thinking we might have to. I was planning to use these big mechs to punish the urban mech for having stepped out of the mineral field. But if we don't kill the awesome now, it's going to turn around and obliterate one of those things. So, give him everything you can give him?
Engaging target.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Center torso destroyed, but we did not have the option of letting that thing live.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Waiting for orders.
And now we have enough resolve to do a called shot, which we want to do. Hold on, I can move forward a little bit here. We can maybe get the medium lasers in.
Got it.
Gonna push this dude's initiative down to 3, so that our smaller mechs have a chance of getting out of this alive.
All weapons are go.
Okay, I think we're good now.
Critical hit, Commander.
All we have to do is find a way to get lethal. Now, unfortunately, we are having some heat and ammunition issues. But if I just move to a position like here...
As you wish.
Get that mineral field bonus.
Target is confirmed. Reporting. Critical
He
hit.
can't have much structure left, right? Okay, yeah, we got him. This is gonna be fine. I am doing real poorly on heat, as always.
Affirmative.
A single hit from the SRM launcher to the torso will finish the job.
Affirmative.
Okay, that was a little harrowing. I don't think I've ever seen a fire starter be as effective as ours was right there. That was just absolutely incredible.
Mission successful.
So we only managed to pull a single piece of salvage off of each of the assault mechs, which is a shame. That's a fifth of a robot body, but still, we have 2 pieces of assault mech where before we had 0, and we made 500,000 C-bills. We did unfortunately take actual structure damage on a number of our mechs. So we are without question grabbing one of these, grabbing one of those, and then what else do we want here? We don't really need to buy heat sinks or take heat sinks and jump jets as salvage. We will get those from the shop. Do we take the PPC? I don't think we have access to a lot of them, and I don't really think we need the suburban mech. Yeah, let's just grab a PPC. Might need a particle cannon at some point, even though I think that broadly it's a pretty bad weapon. Alright, they also gave us both of the urban mech parts, and some small lasers, a bunch of heat sinks, a jump jet. Unfortunately, small jump jets. We need medium ones for the changes that we were intending to effect. Well, that took a long time, because of the way I ran it very slowly. We're definitely going to do at least one more job here, this episode though. So now we're in a position where we don't have 4 healthy mechs. How bad is the damage? All of the armor gets refreshed. You're missing just a tiny bit of structure in the... Yeah, 6 points of structure. That's fine. I feel comfortable running this Centurion again. The Jenner took a little bit of damage in the leg. Took actually a lot of damage to that leg. But that's the only damage it took, right? I feel comfortable running the Jenner again, too. I don't think that's a big deal. We have the Assassin and the Urban Mech to play in the Firestarter slot, or to run in the Firestarter and Jenner slots. We can run the Centurion. We're fine. We're fine to keep fighting. I sort of want to just do the other Capellan Confederation one now, and then we'll start dropping their rep with the rest of these jobs. We've discovered the Taurian Concordat has reactivated an old manufacturing facility in this system. To maintain the balance of power, the Capellan Confederation needs to capture it. You make a surgical strike, occupy the base, and hold it until Capellan forces arrive to take control. Okay, that's a little bit less difficult than the last mission. Seems like it should be doable. So this system is 1.5 skull difficulty. That means that the range of difficulty of missions you can get is half a skull to either side of that. So we're gonna get just 1s, 1.5s, and 2s. How many pieces of salvage do I want to take on a mission where we know absolutely nothing about who we might be fighting? 292. Okay, so we're losing 122,000 C-bills with each extra point of priority salvage we take. And I should note, later in the game, priority salvage is going to almost be the only thing that matters. Right now, bulk salvage is still really important for us because we're just trying to build up our supply of parts. So, doing something like 315, like the extra 4 points of whatever, actually is meaningful. Let's do it this way. Still taking 170,000 home. That's a really small amount of money, actually. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so we don't necessarily need to run the Firestarter. I guess it is another Badlands mission. Yeah, maybe the Firestarter is exactly what we want. We're going to have to run Crackle. And if we're running Crackle, I think we want to move Tire Fire into the Centurion. Crackle can operate the Jenner, or maybe we want to try our Assassin out. Because we don't have any idea what we're going to be up against here. And the Assassin is really good at poking holes in small mechs. 2 SRM-6 base is a lot of damage. And it doesn't run nearly as hot as the Jenner. Yeah, I think that's probably what tears it, is that it's a little slower than the Jenner because it doesn't have as many jump jets. Actually, it almost has as many. But it's so much cooler to fire. Okay, let's do it. And the fire starter will still be valuable for the same reason it was on the last mission. I did not have a lot of respect for heat-based weaponry during the last couple of campaigns. I'm really coming around on it, though. I have to be honest with you. That was a very impressive performance from really not a lot of mech. If it had turned out that we had lost the fire starter there, if the Awesome had turned around and just punched it in half, which, by the way, it could have done if we'd given it a turn. Assault mechs punch for a huge amount of damage. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. I mean, obviously I would have been sad to lose a mech and probably a pilot, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. It's nice to be able to risk a mech that is relatively inconsequential for a play like that has so much upside.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, let's see what we got. Manufacturing facilities just ahead. Before we start our attack, we should recon the defenses from a defensible position. Once that's done, we move in and capture. Okay.
So lovely. So serene.
So it doesn't really matter which side we come up here. We're going to get channeled through the same little mountain pass no matter what with these two. With the other two mechs, however, we just want to get close to the rock wall because we can jump over it.
As you wish.
So what I'd really like, if the Centurions had jump jets, I'd put them up here on this ridge. Unfortunately, they can only get places they can walk. We probably are not going to be able to take a lot of advantage of cover until we get some jump jets in these things. We're reading a contact. Well, it's certainly not a turret. Worth noting, though, there are turret stands. We get anything? Nope, just a big question mark. Well, that makes me want to be a little bit cautious with the smaller mechs. You know what?
You got it.
We know that there's nothing that actually has vision of the pass, otherwise we'd be able to read its position. Let's go ahead and get up here. We might want the little mechs to jump up on the hill. Okay, we do see a striker. I'm betting that this is a mech. I don't know if there are any vehicles that move on 4. Okay, it's a locust. It might be able to shoot at us, but we have 6 evasion charges. Yeah. We took a single missile there, I think. Single LRM. And him shooting at us was actually really good, because it means he didn't brace.
Awaiting orders.
We probably do want to make a point of getting rid of the striker quickly, but I don't actually have that much weaponry that's going to be effective against it. I don't want to close up too much until I know what we're dealing with. I think this is fine, just to move up into the forest. Can I get 3 evasion pips? No. Well, I can if I want to run really far forward, but actually, if I jumped into the forest, I could get that 3rd evasion pip, and probably the heat's not going to be a huge problem, because I'm just firing 2 medium lasers. Actually, that's still generating a considerable amount of heat. Okay, not too happy about the way those spread out. I had not been paying attention to the initiative values of our mechs. Definitely worth noting that the assassin moves on 3 and not 4.
What are your orders, Skipper?
That's a very significant difference.
Good to go.
Okay, we're not going to be able to get any direct fire this turn. Probably next turn. Yeah, I think next turn. But it might be worth it to just sprint this turn to guarantee the straight line of sight for next turn. Now let's go ahead and fire the LRMs at him.
I read you, Commander. Moving out.
So this guy has a huge amount of structure left on all of his parts. I'm debating whether it's even worth it to fire at him with 40 damage that's going to spread out in a way that we really can't control. Or maybe I'd rather do it on the Locust, where he has his individual parts are so poorly armored. We might actually be able to make a breakthrough here. Then again, he also just doesn't really have a lot of damage output. This guy is considerably more dangerous. Yeah, okay, let's go for him. He also doesn't have any evasion. Okay, it all hit front. It's bad in the sense that his frontal section has a ton of armor, but... a galleon here, not super dangerous. That striker is really the only thing I'm concerned about from the enemies at the moment. I think there's really any fancy way to do this. Just drop 15 more missiles on him. It is really nice to have at least one mech in each lance that can do indirect fire like that. To be perfectly honest, the right play here might be to just reserve down until after the striker goes, because it might move forward into a position where I'm more able to put a bunch of short-range missiles into it without having to run into the open. Yeah, like this is pretty ideal. Okay, and that wasn't too bad.
Skipper?
So let's see, we get you up to here for 2 evasion, and we just bombard the thing, right? Just completely trash it. We're hitting the side armor that way, but actually that side armor's been pretty wrecked. Yeah, I like it.
Acknowledged.
And I think we just let him have it with everything. I don't want there to be any chance of him surviving this.
Now let's see how we handle this. Reporting. One less vehicle.
So we still have whatever this is. It could very well be another galleon. Interesting that the Locust is just retreating. I guess it has those LRMs. It doesn't have to stay in shooting range to shoot.
Oh, that hit me.
That's pretty nasty. A second pilot injury is real bad. Because that means we only have 3 functional pilots. Okay, it looks like their turret stands don't actually have turrets. Do I just want to do this thing? Ooh, we could death from above the galleon. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. Alright, so a death from above attack is where you have your mech use its jump jets to, like, Mario stomp the enemy. I'm just going to go ahead and turn off all the flamethrowers, because I think they're going to be a total waste here. Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of this. A little bit of the old DFA. Attacker incurs leg damage and stability damage. And I'm not actually sure how much it is, but because this is a melee attack, remember it's going to do like a crazy amount of damage to the vehicle. If I could move up close enough to do a normal melee attack, I absolutely would. If we shoot at him with our 2 medium lasers and our machine guns, we're just not going to do enough damage to kill him, probably. The 2 medium lasers would need to hit the same area. I think this is a DFA time.
Have no doubt it will be done.
Uh-oh. That's a Star League manufacturing facility, all right. No wonder the Capellan Confederation wants it so bad. Be careful of reinforcements. We're getting intel that there are additional enemy forces rallying to the facility.
Eliminate hostiles and secure it before proceeding to your next objective.
Okay, the leg damage was not too bad. It took 5 points of structure damage and 9 points of structure damage. Obviously, the legs are unarmored. But because we moved such a large distance at such a speed, we have a ton of evasion here. Oof, not enough, apparently.
My armor is peeling away.
This has gone a little bit less than ideally. Well, we can get a nice clean shot on that Locust,
Moving out.
which I think we maybe want to take. We have lots of ways of dealing with the galleon. I do wish that it was a slightly better shot than this. I think we're just going to take this shot as it is.
Got it.
Okay, managed to blow its leg right out from under it. So that's a pretty big deal. When you knock a mech down, in addition to all the other things we talked about, it also loses a point of initiative. So we are now acting before their entire team, effectively. Do I want to fire everything here? The center torso section only has 40 health. I'm debating not using the UAC so that it doesn't get a recoil modifier. But you know what? Let's not try to be cute. Let's not screw around here. Let's just take him out. Yeah, see, even with all that, we still didn't get him.
Critical damage detected.
Actually, I'm surprised by that. That pilot has now taken 3 points of damage and he's still alive. So that means he's leveled up enough to have a 4th health.
Yep.
Very unusual. Alright, you are just going to make a run-up and stomp move. Vehicles hate when being... Boy, English. Vehicles hate when being stepped on giant robots. Listen, everybody hates when being stepped on a giant robot. It's just in our nature. Nothing is more human than going, "Ah, a giant robot is on me now. I hate this." You know, as long as we're in a steppin' mood.
Move order received.
I do wish this tooltip would go away. There we go. Alright, that's what I wanted to see. And then the victory pop-off. Still conserving flamethrower fuel. Okay, no longer in combat. Let's get the Centurions up here. Not move anybody else forward at all until they... Well, we can move up to cover, I guess. You just stay put.
Heads up, Commander. You've got hostile contacts inbound.
Close enough that we're already reading them? Wait, where? Oh, they're up the hill. That's actually really good for us. That's maybe even ideal for us. Because that means the Centurions will bear the brunt of their push. Okay, so it's a crummy locust. And then they've got something moving on 3. That might even be a medium. I'm going to reserve down. I'm going to let all of their mechs move up. Then we'll do our part. Oh, it's just a galleon. Okay, this is not a danger. The only real danger here is that the Centurions might not be able to get up onto that hill. I guess we'll find out. Oh no, we're cool. Alright, may as well blow up the galleon if we can. Wow. That was a hell of a shot. Did he shoot at the moon? Just, you know, it was a small issue with the targeting computer. The sign of an integer got inverted. Ooh, some kind of long-range missile boat over there that's moving on 2. It might just be another striker. Well, let's try to remove their sighting ability first here. May as well turn these off and just not generate the extra heat. Okay, there we go. We made up for the other shot. We just put in enough autocannon shots into it. Alright, now we have you two. We have completely full resolve, and we're going to be able to do this and then still move again at the beginning of the next turn. So I think we might want to just get really aggressive here.
Yes,
I'm going to have the Firestarter move in first, just to give me some vision of what I'm working with. Okay, so it's a Jenner and a Striker. Striker is definitely more of an issue, but I'm wondering... well, how much evasion does the tracking system on the Assassin ignore? We see that. We can't really see the description of that part easily. I think it was 3 points. So I think we're going to have the Firestarter here. Just shoot at this thing now to strip a point of evasion off of it so that it effectively has 0. Oh. And both of my weapons actually did some damage.
Orders.
Alright, and we're just going to run out into the open. Well, I guess I don't have to. I can still be in optimal firing range from here.
Location confirmed.
Move right up on him, go to Precision Strike to push his initiative down. And we're not trying anything fancy with this guy. Let's just kill him.
Lock it off. All weapons.
So we'll get to do another volley of that before he gets to move again. And I'm hoping that'll be good enough. The Firestarter will be able to run up on him and hit him with all the weapons, too. damn it.
Injury.
I was about to say something about how a Locust has functionally no chance of doing any meaningful damage to a mech of that size, but it sure did find a way to make me look like an idiot. So if I run over to here, I'll have 3 points of evasion. I'm a little worried about the Striker being able to do some serious damage to the Firestarter, like maybe take a leg. But I also don't really have a lot of ways of stopping that from happening. And we do want to kill the Jenner. The Jenner actually has very significant firepower. So I'm going to turn on all the stuff, and we're just going to run up on this thing.
Coordinates confirmed.
It's the guarded state, which he is in now because he did not attack on the last turn. He just braced. Is completely ignored by melee attacks. Left him with 34 center torso health. Okay. Oh, right, I forgot again that my other small mech moves on 3, not 4. An interesting maneuver. Huh.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal
Well, he
damage.
caught me off guard with that. It's definitely wrong, but he caught me off guard with it. You gotta give him that. So... can we reasonably use the assassin to kill this thing? Probably. It's a lot of small missiles. But I think maybe the right play is to just hammer the Jenner here. He has 34 center torso health. Shooting it in the back is probably a good idea. And we have to decide. Do we want the Striker to be able to shoot the Firestarter, or do we want the Jenner to be able to act at the beginning of next turn? I think I'm more worried about the Jenner, to be honest with you. So let's just have you move over to here, generate a couple of points of evasion, and we're going to let this dude have it. We could precision strike him again. It'll leave me at 55. Yeah, let's go for the center. From the back, this should be a lethal amount of damage. No, we didn't quite get there.
Critical hit.
1. We left 1 structure. Well, the good news is he has no armor on the front or back of his torso. So we probably could just fire a bunch of LRMs into him and finish the job. That is exactly what I'm going to do.
On my way.
Let's give him all of the
Firing
weapons.
everything I've got.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, four lasers and an SRM pod is potentially quite a lot of damage. I was not comfortable with him still being alive. And then you... I don't really care too much about that mech this mech losing its arm, except in the sense that it's going to prevent me from running it in future jobs here. I think we gotta put some work in on this Locust. There's a bunch of evasion, but we could try to counteract some of that. It's not even worth turning those on. Yeah, just go for the center. Let's try to get lucky with the UAC.
Engaging target.
Oh, that wasn't too bad. Got him down to 5 health.
Critical damage detected.
Alright. This is potentially going to be a little ugly. Oh, interesting. He's driving past the vulnerable mech. And then firing backwards at him. Okay.
Armor
Fine by
flow
me.
through.
So...
Yes, Commander.
can the Firestarter... Yes, the Firestarter can, in fact, get a shot off here. I think this is what we have to do.
Here we go.
Precision strike him down to 2 initiative.
Target is
He probably just dies here, but just in case we find some way to not finish him off, make sure he's not taking a turn.
destroyed. Yep,
And then you go and step on this tank.
I'm there.
And if that doesn't kill it, we still have 2 Centurions worth of LRMs. There we go. Dropship inbound for landing. We took way more damage there than we did fighting the assaults. We're going to be in an interesting position at the beginning of the next episode. Oh, I still haven't actually moved a mech into the facility. There we go. As soon as it actually registers those... Go, man.
Orders?
There we go.
Order acknowledged.
Now it's registering. Alright, I believe that's all we have to do.
Coordinates received.
Okay, we managed to make it out. Given what we've seen here, I'm guessing Lau will be very pleased with our work and then very displeased with all of the work that we do for the rest of the game after this point. So let's see how close these mechs are to being runnable again. We could just spend a couple of days down here on the planet's surface repairing stuff. It's not ideal. 22 days of injuries and 17 days of injury. Alright. We do have options. So what do we want? We want some LRM pods. I'm pretty sure of that, right? I don't think we particularly want these mech bodies. I think I'll take both of the LRM-10s and then also... another SRM-6, I guess? Okay. Get mech parts anyway, some medium lasers. You can never have enough of those. Okay. Not a bad haul, all things told. I think 315 was probably right. We just need parts. We just need lots and lots of parts. It turns out there's a huge amount of metal in a 40-ton giant killer robot. Roughly 40 tons worth. So we don't have enough pilots to do another job. 23 days worth of injury on all three of them. We can solve this problem by hiring. There's a hiring hall on the planet's surface, so that wouldn't be too bad. The arm on this thing is at 2 structure, but it's an empty arm. I don't necessarily feel like that disqualifies it from being run. The Jenner is still in fine shape. The Urban Mech and the Assassin are both ready to go. The Firestarter probably should not be put back into the field. One of its legs is pretty busted. You know, honestly, it still has 259 structure. It's probably fine. Yeah, you know what? I think we are in a position where we can afford to push a little bit more. But we are going to have to hire a new mech warrior. Let's have a quick look at who is available. Smolder here will only work for a company that has an MRB rating of 200 or higher, which we do not. But we have some promising talent here. Sourdough already has quite a few stat points.
Good to go.
54k per month with a 49,000 C-Bill signing bonus, huh? How does that work out compared to our current pilots? It's not that much more. And I believe the amount you pay your pilots goes up as they get more experienced. I think that's probably the one we want.
Good to go.
So you're a commoner from Tortuga, you spent some time as a pirate, then got arrested and put in prison, and also you're a hired killer. Sometimes these traits, things about them and their past life will come back to haunt you a little bit. But honestly, I think Sourdough is a good fit for the team, and we desperately need somebody who can sit in a cockpit right now. So let's just bring you on board.
Mech warriors available.
And that gives us the ability to keep pushing. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. That's going to be it for us for right now, though. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when hopefully the missions are just like a tiny little bit less harrowing. Just a little bit. And we'll see you then.